Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Wednesday, March 26th edition of our video devotionals. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope your Wednesday is going well. It is the middle part of the work week and school week once again, and also it's church time for many of us. Be sure and attend your church service tonight. All right, we're going to be in Proverbs 17 today. I've actually got, let's see, I think it's 4 verses kind of start off. There's an association for the most part with these. And this is Wisdom Wednesday, so we're going to be in the book of Proverbs today, give you some wisdom. And so find that if you will. We're going to begin in verse 4 there of Proverbs 17. And thank you so much for watching the videos. We appreciate you, and of course the acknowledgments and the comments. And then of course, as we see folks who request prayer, let's take a moment and pray for these situations, okay? All right, notice this in Proverbs 17:4. It says this: a wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue. Isn't it amazing the association and the attraction, in this case, the wicked doer and the liar has, that they're attracted to that which is wrong and that which is evil. It's like they either look for it or they sense it, or there's just that connection there. And that's not a good thing, obviously. Look at verse 5. Whoso mocketh the poor reproacheth his maker, and he that is glad at calamity shall not be punished. Again, here's this idea of people that they have their heart is not right, and then they tend to do things and they lean toward things that's not right. Notice this: he that is glad at calamity shall not be punished. Imagine someone being, and we have to be careful about this, because when there's people that don't do right, have the wrong stand, and you know what I'm talking about. Better be careful when in your heart or even verbally you start to express things when you hear something doesn't go right with somebody and they're going through negative circumstances. Be very careful about that. So the mocking of the poor, that's with the tongue. A liar, that's with the tongue. Giveth heed to false lips, there's with the tongue. So see this association here. Now let's skip down to verse number 9. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth a matter separateth very friends. Repeateth is telling it. So that means someone that wants to, the Bible says seeketh love, a person that's looking out for somebody. And we're not talking about covering up sin and trying to get by with it. We're talking about people that are trying to protect another individual, and they're not trying to make someone look bad. They're not trying to spread something and repeat it. And we can all be guilty of that. Hey, did you hear about so-and-so? Hey, did you hear about this? The other day, somebody was asking me about something, and to be honest with you, they may have been, I'll say they may have been naive in this, but sometimes people, hey, did you hear about what's going on over there? I said, look, I'm not a gossiper. There's a reason why people don't tell me a lot of stuff, because I'm one of the last people to know, because one, I'm not a gossiper. I don't go around trying to spread things. And I think right here, this verse is saying, if you love somebody, then you're trying to help them. And repeating a bunch of stuff that they've done wrong is not going to help. Now, I know some people say, well, preachers ought to preach against sin. We're not talking about that. We're talking about going around, hey, did you hear about so-and-so? Hey, people get on Facebook and they want to spread stuff and repeat it all the time and make somebody look bad. There's kind of maybe the difference here between someone seeking love and not. So it says they separate very friends. You can really be hurtful. So you know what? There's a lot of things you don't have to repeat. You say, well, they're true. Yeah, but you don't have to repeat them. You know what? You just don't have to. We ought to try to help people, help reclaim people, and there's an attitude there that we should have. And then the last one here, and of course, as you seek here, they all seem to have some kind of connection with how we talk, what we say. The last one is verse 19. He loveth transgression that loveth strife, and he that exalteth his gate seeketh destruction. Notice particularly that first part of the verse. He loveth the transgression. In other words, he likes evil. He likes the evil atmosphere, the things that's going on, the naughty things, if you please. He loveth the transgression that loveth strife. There's some people, they just want to get something stirred up all the time. Sadly, our churches sometimes can be associated with a lot of strife. Well, I think for one reason, when that's a place designed for God's people, and holy living and proclaiming God's holy word. Certainly the devil's going to try to do all he can. But this thing about strife, people that always want to have something stirred up, they don't want to put the fires out. They want to start the fires and they want to fuel the fires. The Bible says that kind of an attitude, it says they love transgression. They're not in the right. People that spread strife. And again, it kind of goes back to this repeating things. Well, did you hear about so-and-so? Well, I don't, I want everybody to know about it. Well, people don't need to know everybody's business. And if they're wrong, God knows. You pray for them and you try to help them. I get that. But there's something about this associated. When you look at the verses, there's this heart's condition that seems to be they lean toward the wrong, they lean toward the evil, and their tongue kind of depicts that. You know what I'm saying? So we all need to be careful with what we say. The book of James speaks specifically about that. And so we need to be very careful. Go to God and say, God, help me, Lord. And if we love people, then you don't go around spreading a bunch of stuff. I don't care if it is true. You try to help them, try to reclaim them, and do all you can. And there's just something about people that love and want to do what's right. They just tend to not have their heart doesn't lean toward the wrong. It leans toward the right, and their tongue seems to lean that way too. Maybe that's what I should have said at the very beginning. Anyway, we're going to stop right there. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. Lord willing, we'll see you back tomorrow. I think we'll still be in the book of 1 Samuel tomorrow. So thank you for watching.